Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth weekly WarLight livestream tournament. As always, this is Mythonian.
And kcscrag with you.
Yep, and this week we are doing a 2v2 tournament instead of 1v1. Right now, you've got the bracket up in front of you. Um, just like last week, we're going to be using a separate bracket system so that we don't give spoilers and all that nice stuff that, you guys don't need to know about.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Okay. So as you can see, we've got two people on each team matched up against another team. At the beginning, you see that what team letter it is. This is on the actual WarLight tournament. They have teams A, G, D, F, C, H, B, E. So I just decided to keep that there. And then we've got in the first game for the first round, we've got Lolowut and JSA going up against Dunga and Reza.
One of those two.
Then second game we've got Chancellor, Platy Palpatine, and Foxface against Sonic In and Crowgunk.
Yep.
And then we've got in the third game Blue and Nuphone or Gunaphone.
Probably
Gunaphony,
Nuphone. Probably Nuphone. The G is probably silent.
maybe. And then Phantasmagoria and Tetragrammaton. Two really cool names. We've got Shibinigan and someone with Japanese characters, which just show up as question marks here because they can't display Japanese characters or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Reload or Real Ode, I don't know, and Yoshi, however you want to divide that word up. Okay, so as you can see, there's 8 different teams going up against in a 2v2 tournament, single elimination style. Winners of one game will go on to the next game, face the winners of the other game in that side of the bracket, until eventually they get to the championship round, where hopefully we have a really good match and decide on a good champion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, since these are well, first of all, this tournament has actually started about an hour ago, a little less than an hour ago, and it's so the games have already been going on. We're going to be going over the and analyzing these games after the fact. Sort of, the game has to end first before we can even view and spectate it.
Yep.
So that's sort of how things are going to be going. We're going to go into a game in a few minutes and start talking about it and whatever. And while we're doing that, the second round's already going to be going on.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the chance that we'll finish everything in the first round and then we're waiting on the second round to finish and all that stuff. That always happens. So far, I think that's happened every single tournament, at least once, where we're waiting on things. But hopefully it's not too bad this time. Simultaneous to this 2v2 event is a 1v1 tournament. We're not streaming all of it. At the end of it, we will probably do a highlights reel or a little bit of clips from various games and all that to highlight important events, important games, comebacks, whatever. And then we will commentate the final championship game, assuming that is actually a good one. I don't know if it's a two-turn game. I guess we'll still go over it, but it's not
It's
going to be
too.
amazing.
Yeah. 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 Hopefully it will be though. Hopefully it will live up to the hype of
Hopefully, yeah.
being the championship game of a 1v1 tournament.
Yep.
Very large 1v1 tournament.
Yeah. At this point in time, well, as I said before, we're using this bracket to prevent spoilers from being shown. We do have one game that's over. I'm not going to spoil it here yet, because it's possible we may end up going over it.
Spoiler.
So we're not going to give the spoiler. But one game's over. We're going to see the other game should be getting pretty close to over. Oh, well, not sure.
Mm.
Turn 4 for that game. Let me take a look. How did that one game get like turn 16 and then these other games are like at turn 1 or 4?
Oh man, what? Huh.
Hmm. Okay, well then I guess we can go over that game. Since it
Yeah.
seems no
It's
one
the
else
only
is.
game that's doing remotely.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys need to do your turns faster for everyone else.
Yeah, jeez.
uh,
We'll be here for several hours. Turn 4. And you, after an hour of gameplay, you have advanced 4 turns.
well, they probably didn't get started immediately. Maybe waiting on someone to join. But these
Yeah.
guys got started pretty fast. 17 turn game already done before the other games are even at turn 5. Okay, well, this is the second game. It is Chancellor Platy Palpatine and Foxface against Croagunk and Sonic N.
Mm-hmm. And taking a look at these wastelands.
Yeah, we got a
Brazil, Mali, Libya, Korea.
Korea
That's a waste of a
and New South Wales.
wasteland.
Yep.
New South Wales.
Really varied. One thing to say is that this uses the strategic 1v1 settings. Strategic 2v2 settings, I'm sorry. So there's 5 different wastelands scattered throughout the map. Random warlords distribution, things like that. So let's take a look at what they chose. Croagunk starting in Panama, Pakistan, Georgia. That's his top 3, followed by Great Plains. So he only chose 4. In strategic 2v2, you get dealt 2 territories, and he wanted Panama and Pakistan. You're deciding to go for some of the smaller 3 bonuses. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I really can't tell perfectly unless I look at Sonic's too.
Okay, well then let's look at Sonic's. He decided to go with Botswana, Kenya, third being Nigeria, Sipple, and then alternates being in North America. Interesting.
Well, in general, I don't like South Africa very much at all.
Yeah, South Africa's not really an efficient bonus. I don't really agree with these starts. It doesn't seem the best way to do it. Because it still takes 2 turns to get, even with both of these guys helping out, both of these starts here. When instead, you could go for like a 4 bonus, like Vorkuta, start in Vorkuta and get West Russia in 2 turns.
It's just pretty slow expansion.
Yeah, it's just, it slows you down and can't really do much. And,
But it seems like they conceded all of Eurasia.
yeah, I mean, Krogan put Pakistan and then Georgia, so he wanted to do something over there. But still, I'm not sure I agree with South Africa, and even it's like Central America and Southeast Asia, both of those are really slow as well, because Central America takes 2 turns, but Southeast Asia takes 3.
Well, that's not too bad because he would end up taking Central America and then Pakistan the turn after. But
Well, no, he couldn't, because he wouldn't be able to get Myanmar without putting everything in. Well, he would have to put everything in Mexico to get Cuba and Baja, probably. Yeah.
I'm sure
Depends
he
on how
put
many.
everything because on his
Okay,
first
well,
turn you could add in those 2. But the point is,
I don't think he would have enough to
it's
do
not.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like really, it's like getting one of these 4 bonuses is much more effective in my opinion on this. Like even the Philippines, you can get Indonesia in 2 turns.
Yeah. Philippines, West Russia, Central Russia, West Africa.
It just doesn't seem like they chose the most effective starts. But let's compare them to the other team, Chancellor Platy Palpatine, going in Vorkuta and Sipple first, really varied spots, and then Kenya, Great Plains after that. Interesting start in the Great Plains, though. That's something that's really rare to see someone try to start in East or West U.S.
Yeah, and we've got a few people trying to do that.
Yeah.
Or at least with alternate starts.
Well, he did start in West Russia, which I said earlier I thought was a pretty good one on this map. And then in Sipple, that's not bad. I mean, he could go to South Pole and get that. There's not really a need to go up into South America because there's a wasteland here. So for the most part, this would easily be considered a safe bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like Australia's wastelanded, South America's wastelanded, so really it's like, and almost no one's ever going to start in South Africa, so this is a safe bonus that he could just get after he gets West Russia.
Yep, it is a very safe bonus. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that pick a lot. And then Vorkuta for a faster expansion.
Yep. And then Foxface chose Sweden, Vorkuta, Sipil, and then Nigeria, Pakistan. I don't think these are I don't like these as much as Chancellor Play Palpatine's. I mean, it's like the start in Sweden is decent, I guess, but it's just putting you right next to your teammate. Generally, you would like to be a little bit farther away so both of you can expand as fast as you can.
Well, as long as you got one open side, it's not too bad.
Yeah, and then I still don't like Pakistan on this map. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think even like East China, Philippines, those would be better starts in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Pakistan doesn't... I don't really see much of a use for Pakistan here. I mean, even as a counter pick, what... I guess you could counter Caucasus.
But you can already do that from Vorkuta.
Well, no, with Pakistan.
Yeah, I mean, but you
it
don't need
just,
that if you already have like Vorkuta.
Yeah. It just...
Oh well, we'll see how they get their territories.
Yep.
So we see Chancellor Play Palpatine getting his first 2 in Vorkuta and Sipil. Foxface getting his first and 4th in Sweden, Nigeria. And then Krogunk getting his first 2 in Panama, Pakistan, and then Sonic In also getting his first 2 in Botswana, Kenya. So at this point, no one absolutely knows where anyone else is. Interestingly enough, that's actually rather rare for a 2v2.
Yeah, it is. There really wasn't any overlap on the later on the early picks.
Yeah.
Except between partners.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I do think that at this point, Team D is probably in a little bit of a better position in terms of just expanding. Because they can get a 4 and a 3 in 2 turns. And then Foxface, if he goes down to Congo, then that's a really good counter position for South Africa.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And then it's like expanding
into Congo, then yeah, South Africa.
Yeah, and he can't really expand into East Africa very well because that would just take too long, 3 turns. So it's like he's going to be focusing on South Africa. And he's going to be countered because of that, unless he goes to Congo. If he goes to Congo and starts trying to work on West Africa, even if he doesn't know that Foxface is there, that will protect him. So we'll see if he does that.
Yep.
But it's like Krogunk, all he can really do is just expand right now, I guess. I mean, he can guess that maybe they're in like Central West Russia. That would not be a bad guess to make, so he might decide to go up through Caucasus or something. Or maybe over to Iran and then try to hit Georgia to get a good counter on West Russia. But it's like him trying to expand from Pakistan would not be a very good move in my opinion. Just because it's such a slow expansion for only 3 reinforcements.
Well, with these picks, honestly, expanding somewhere is better than nowhere. So
yeah.
With the way it started, I would say he should expand in Southeast Asia. Just because there's nothing around him to stop him. And expanding helps you. It really does.
Okay, well, let's take a look at where they decided to focus at. Foxface decided to focus in Sweden, while Sonic puts a lot in Kenya, interestingly enough. And Krogunk focusing in Pakistan.
Oh, I don't know what the heck Sonic is thinking over here. I'm gonna take both bonuses. Oh, jeez. I don't know why he's doing that. That's not good at all. Well, no, I guess that's not too bad. I'm being overcritical. He could take, he could still take South America or South Africa in 1 turn, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, I still think that would probably have been better if he went to like Congo instead or something. I mean, he could still take East Africa about just as fast, but it would give him a better positioning advantage later on for expanding into West Africa after that.
Yeah, I can't really... I don't know why. Why does that matter? Why you could just go to Chad later on then? I mean, now if you're assuming that someone's in West Africa, then of course you should go to Congo. But
yeah,
taking Somalia in that spot doesn't... as long as you assume that someone's not in West Africa, Somalia is the right pick.
Okay, after that, Krogan decided to finish off Central America, Foxface in Scandinavia, and then Chancellor Bloody Palpatine deciding that he isn't. Okay, yeah, he is trying to go for West Africa this turn, with Krogan just deciding to go one more into towards Myanmar, and then we do see Foxface moving into Congo.
Yep. And of course, Sonic N is in deep, 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 deep trouble.
He's not in a very good position right now. He does have the same number of reinforcements as
But
Foxface
he's
does.
in severe trouble being threatened.
Yeah, he's got 2 places to defend. So we'll see how he decides to try to do this.
Yep. And Croagunk he barely misses out on Baja. That sucks for him.
Yep. We do see that Sonic deciding to focus in Angola with only a little bit of Botswana. That's sort of like, what's the word? I don't know. But we do see Foxface making the right decision and hitting Botswana in this case. And
Yep, he
capturing
guessed
it.
right.
Oh, yeah.
And
Chancellor Palpatine working a little bit more on Antarctica and starting in Central Russia as Foxface starts in Greenland. So they're expanding still as like they should. And at this point, they're in a significant positional advantage with breaking that bonus, and their bonuses are safe at this point. I mean, Kroagunk has his bonuses safe, but he's not really in a fantastic position to expand, in my opinion at least. I mean, he could go into Indonesia, maybe West US. I mean, if he tries to do Caucasus, then he's going to have trouble above, obviously.
well, he's going to be able to threaten Chancellor Palpatine at least.
Yeah. Okay, so the next time we do see a lot being placed in the South Pole. Looks like he's probably going to go to Novo and try to help out Foxface in South Africa. And to in Baja.
Sonic is in just a horrible spot.
Oh yeah.
That one spot in Botswana, and he's really dead down there.
Okay. And he is working on Caucasus as well, and Indonesia it seems. Anyway, he takes Eastern Kazakhstan, he sees now that he's not alone up there. Foxface does blockade in Botswana though.
Yeah, I like that move. It
I don't.
just
Yeah,
means
that's
he doesn't
definitely
need to
not a
worry
bad
about
move.
it.
And it
Need-
definitely
need to
prevents
worry
that
about it
bonus from
anymore.
ever being an issue.
Yeah, and now he can play stuff in Nigeria and not worry about that at all.
Oh, and we do see, unfortunately, Foxface never got a card this turn. That's something to consider.
Oh, he didn't, did he?
Nope. So, turn 5, this means that the other team has a reinforcement card, but they do not. So, Sonic playing a reinforcement card helps him defend. I don't know why would you defend South Africa in this case?
I don't know why. What?
You're not going to get the bonus back, so why would you defend it as if you have the bonus?
Yeah, that move makes 0 sense.
I mean, I can understand a little bit, maybe, or unless he's planning to blockade that.
Maybe he just wants to hit Novo for some
Yeah,
reason.
I guess.
And it worked out.
It did. Huh.
He hit Novo.
Surprisingly.
He wasn't worried about defending it. He wanted to take Novo.
It did catch their opponents off guard, it seems. But now Krogunk's being pushed back out of Kazakh. And Krogunk going up into Pacific Northwest. Was he checking on Canada or was he just expanding? I'm not sure at this point.
Probably just expanding.
Ooh, Sonic does finish off Foxface from Nigeria. That means that he's free to expand in the rest of Africa except North Africa, as long as he can keep Nova, which he should have no problem doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my Foxface would want to let that go.
Hmm.
Personally, if I was him, I'd want to keep a spot down there just to prevent them from expanding properly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd want to keep Nigeria and then maybe move to Chad to make sure they don't get East Africa either, and just harass. But I guess he figured, hey, I'm ahead already. Why not?
Yep. Sonic working more on Antarctica and not quite getting Ghana. He got denied that. Chancellor Platter Palpatine gained a position to get Central America, Central Russia. He's expanding more. Foxface did finish off Greenland, so he's got another bonus back. So even though it's like Sonic and Krogunk looked in like a decent position a couple turns ago, well, getting Nova was a good move. Getting him out of Nigeria was a good move, but the positioning near Caucasus does not look very good at this point,
No.
and I don't think he's expanding fast enough. And
Mm,
Sonic's still without another bonus. That's putting them behind. And this turn, Krogunk never got a card.
Really?
So now the teams are evened out in terms of card pieces.
Funny how that happens. Wait. Which turn was that?
6. I'm
Oh,
on
okay.
7 now.
I was on 7. I was wondering because he took a territory in 7.
Foxface starting to expand in Canada. Krogunk working more on Indonesia. Now he's threatened in Southeast Asia. So that's not looking good. He should have tried blockading that a while ago. Or, wasn't really in a good position. He could have got Kazakh in the next turn.
They're just in a really bad position. I don't know why they... It seems like these picks from the start, ignoring West Russia, Central Russia, and Scandinavia was just
Yeah.
not a good idea. But it seems like a bunch of moves were made that I don't really understand.
Hmm.
Like abandoning Antarctica. I don't understand why you would want to do that, but Vlad Palpatine figured... Well, actually, that's alright, because he is putting more pressure on Southeast Asia, like Croagunk.
I
It's
don't.
not too bad, but...
Why did Sonic put guys in Scott on turn 8? I don't understand that move. Oh, he may not have realized there was a wasteland in New South Wales. Okay.
Just not looking at the history.
Chancellor Platter Palpatine finishing off Central Russia. Foxface getting in a position to work on Canada. They've got an advantage in my opinion, and he's going to find Krogunk in Pacific Northwest pretty soon.
Yep. Say hello there.
Sonic finally got a bonus. He's going to have to get Egypt. If Krogunk can defend Pakistan and can actually expand, I mean, he's the only real place he can expand at this point is West U.S. But he's going to meet Foxface there, so he's nearly out of expansion options unless he's going to get East China, which he should have gotten a while ago, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know why he didn't go for that sooner.
And I would much rather prefer that than West U.S.
But I mean, a lot of these moves just don't make sense. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go for maybe Xinjiang and Mongolia to threaten Central Russia. Maybe Iran is a good move too. To threaten Georgia and then go up to West Russia.
Yeah, and we do see that Chancellor Platter Palpatine finishing off Caucasus. Foxface nearly working on, or nearly finishing off Europe and Canada. And it's like Team D is expanding much more effectively than Team F was.
Yeah, I'd say you're
and,
right.
you know, that and any
Almost being
game
done
that
with
lasts
Europe.
any decent bit of time, that's what's going to win you the game.
Yeah, it's really all about expansion. Although I think they could have won the game a little quicker if they had kept the spot in Nigeria still.
Yeah.
That would have killed Blue. Really, Sonic in. That move down, keeping him down at 5 reinforcements for the entire game would have killed the game for him.
Oh yeah, and then it's like if
Well,
they had put a couple in Antarctica to prevent him from getting this, then
yeah, that too.
it's like 3 or 4 guys every turn would be fine down there or something, because Sonic would only have 5 reinforcements.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it would slow down their expansion, but they would only be I mean, even Krogunk
It would
expanding.
slow down their expansion, but it would kill the other guy's
Yeah,
expansion. And on what turn are you on?
up at turn 10, we do
Okay.
see some big stacks starting to form in British Columbia and Egypt. And ooh, this is the turn where Krogank's not going to be able to defend Pakistan.
No.
And he also gets taken in Pacific Northwest. He just couldn't deal with both of them. Both in British Columbia and Tajikistan, there was going to be big stacks from the enemies, and he did not have nearly enough to be able to defend against that.
Yep, so they take both Pakistan and Pacific Northwest.
In that
And
situation, he should have given up in Pacific Northwest and just put everything in Pakistan, and then maybe blockaded in like California or something.
well, at this point, they're so far behind that
Yeah.
I don't know if if it even
It
matters.
probably would not have
Yeah.
changed the game, but it probably would have given him time to get East China,
Yeah, that's
something
true.
to give him,
Delayed him
a
a
little
little
bit more. Because in terms of reinforcements, they're not really that far behind. I mean, before he lost Southeast, they weren't that far behind. And if he had like East China to make up for losing Southeast Asia, then they would be only down by 4 total, which is not insurmountable. If they get if they have them running into them and they're on the defensive, then the odds can help them overcome that if they make some smart attacks and everything.
bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It could delay them and give them more time to expand, but well, they didn't do that. Oh well.
So now he's lost this. He's going to be in a position to lose Central America in just a minute. And then we do see Sonic is about to meet up with pretty much probably both of them in Middle East.
Yep. And moving on to turn 11. What do you know? He does!
Oh yeah,
Hello there.
both of them. Yep.
Iran and Italy.
And Krogunk does blockade Myanmar.
You mean India?
No,
Wait,
he
no.
blockades
Never mind,
Myanmar.
never mind. Sorry, it's just that color. Chancellor Vladimir Palpatine.
Oh, he does hit first. Oh, Foxface coming down into Algeria. I do like that. He can move into Niger and threaten West Africa really well.
Oh, yeah. Yep, just moving into position for the kill now. And
Oh, this turn, 2 different people didn't get cards. Sonic and Chancellor Vladimir Palpatine never got a card on turn 12.
really?
Oh, and then this time, Sonic putting everything in Iraq, but he does end up losing Turkey because Foxface got 20. It's getting 23 now because he finished off Europe.
Yeah, I don't really know if we need to show him.
Yeah, that pretty much
Ooh.
seals the deal. Now they're just too far ahead. Krogunk does push him back a little bit in West U.S., but that's about to change because he doesn't need to put any more in Middle East. So yeah, he put stuff over there, and now they're getting in position to threaten Egypt. He is finally starting to work on East China, but it's way too late.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Foxface and Chancellor Palpatine are both focusing so much in Middle East. Personally, I don't know why. They only need one of them to do that, and of course, since Chancellor Palpatine has nothing else to do,
He should have moved
attack.
into Tibet and Hong Kong a while ago.
Yeah, he should have done that too, but Foxface doesn't need to focus so much in Israel. He could.
This attack of 72 into Egypt is totally overkill, in my opinion.
He could easily kill them in Algeria to Niger, or
Which he never attacked Niger for some reason.
yeah.
But now we've got a stack of 101 in Egypt. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, that's when they surrendered. Seeing that stack of
It's over.
101 was, yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much you can do against that.
No, it's done. The game is done.
So,
And they surrender.
yep, good game, Sonic N and Krogunk. Congratulations, Chancellor Platter Palpatine and Foxface.
And we still don't have any of the other games completed yet.
None of the other games are done. Oh, you guys are so slow. We've got a turn 10 game.
Turn 6. And turn 5.
Wow, you guys are
Yes.
slow.
What is this?
Okay, anyone in any of those games, are you guys anywhere close to being done? Say so in the chat.
They
If
might
anyone's
not.
even watching the chat.
No. Oh, man. Oh, I wouldn't mind doing that, would you?
Okay, let's take a look at the one we
Time of
won.
the 1v1 tournament?
Everyone's focusing on the one we won. That's why they're doing so slow in the 2v2. That's it. That's the reason. It all makes sense now.
Oh, man.
Um. Okay, which one of these games are you thinking we should do?
I don't have the link. Could you give me the link?
Yeah, hold on.
So I was invited, but it started, so I'm out of there.
You can go to your tournaments and it still shows up.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't know there was. I wasn't thinking about how to list it.
You're such a nub when it comes to WarLight, apparently.
Oh man, let's see. Oh man, I'd like to see that second game right there, Mythonian against Shivinigan, man.
Yeah, that was the most epic buy ever.
Oh,
Sorry if you thought I was gonna play Shivinigan, but kind of had a live stream to get started.
he has a mission.
Okay. Well,
Oh, that
as we
looks
did just
interesting.
see,
We could watch the. Oh, Fizzer played in this. Hey, Fizzer. I didn't know you
yep.
played in this. Cool. We could watch Dunga and Phantasmagoria. That seems like it would be a good game.
Yeah, well, just to go over one other thing, yeah, Chancellor Platter Palpatine and Foxface did win the game, so now they're waiting for an opponent from Game 1. Games 3 and 4 still need to finish, so we know who's going to be in the next round. But yeah, in the meantime for that, let's take a look at one of these games. So, we have... I don't want to show this bracket. I don't have one of these brackets made for it, because I thought we were just going to wait for the finals. Thought you guys would do your turns a little bit faster. Okay, we have Yoshi versus G-Man,
Excuses.
Fizzer versus Gerzechu, Lolowut versus Reza, Zerbi Darkwing, Nico Croagunk, Dunga Apex Phantasmagoria, JSA Sir F Bonds. So, which one are you interested in? You mentioned
Dunga and Phantasmagoria looks like an
Dunga and
immediately
Phantasmagoria.
interesting game.
Yeah, that does. Then that's what we'll do, Dunga and Phantasmagoria. Assuming that's not super long.
14 turns.
That's not bad.
Alright, let's go.
Bang. Okay. Dunga versus Phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria was the victor of last tournament, the live tournament number 3. So
Mhm.
congratulations to him for that win.
Yeah,
He really came out of
applause.
nowhere and surprised everyone who was there.
Indeed.
So we'll see if he does that in this tournament as well. Okay. Dunga decided to go with Sipple and New South Wales, focusing on the south. Not bad, not bad. I mean, it would take 3 turns to get one of these bonuses. Well, you get South Pole in 2 turns, Antarctica in 2 turns, and then another 2 turns for Australia, if that's how he's going to focus it on. And then his alternates were in Philippines, and
No,
then
you start with 3 in this. Remember.
oh yeah, yeah.
2v2 minded.
Gotta get back into the 1v1 mindset. Okay, so we have first, second, third in Philippines, so he should, at least in my opinion, focus in Indonesia at the start, and then from, I'm not sure what he should focus on second. Probably Antarctica too, because you get that in one turn later,
Yeah,
and then
see that.
Australia one turn after that, so you get a 4-3-5 starting at turn 2, 3, 4. I think that would be most efficient from those 3 starts, and then you've got Myanmar, Vorkuta, Mexico after that.
Yep, pretty good alternates.
Yep.
And Phantasmagoria.
We've
His
got
number 1 is also Sybil.
yep, simple, but then Myanmar, Shanghai as his 2 and 3, fourth being Philippines.
Well, we know there's going to be some overlap there.
Yep. If he does not get his first pick, then he's going to get 2 and 3, and then he might get 4. That will be a fought over one.
Yep, we'll
So,
see.
If so, one way or the other, someone's going to know something. Either he's going to know that Dunga's in Sipple
And I
and
like how
Philippines, or
Vorkuta
the other
and
way around.
Mexico are both of their alternatives after that.
Yeah, they've got like several overlapping picks. The only ones that aren't overlapping are their picks 2 and 3 for each one, or in the other way around. It's like the 3 and 4 are switched a little bit more. But
Yeah.
the only difference is Dunga went for Philippines while Phantasmagoria went for Shanghai.
So anyway, let's see how it turned out.
Yep. We do see that Dunga did get first in Sipple, so he also got New South Wales and Philippines. So he got his first 3
Wow.
picks, so this gives Phantasmagoria the knowledge advantage. He got his second, third, and fifth. So he knows of Sipple and Philippines.
And that
So
means he can also make a pretty good guess for New South Wales.
Maybe, yeah. Or you could assume maybe he went for a safe bonus after that or something.
Yeah. Either way. Well,
Well, you can assume a lot of things.
Phantasmagoria is in a pretty good position here, I think. I like this. He's got
Yep.
Vorkuta right over there. Very safe. Easy to expand there.
And then really good counters on Indonesia.
Yeah, and this does look like it would be a pretty good game.
Yep. And Phantasmagoria does indeed expand in Vorkuta, as interestingly, Dunga is focusing in Antarctica.
Well, he figures it would be safer, and I can understand that.
It would, yeah, it would definitely be safer. It's just not quite as efficient in the long run, unless his opponent is indeed in Myanmar, Shanghai.
Yeah, and he would guess that his opponent would pick at least one of those. So I don't really mind that move at all.
Yep. These colors are too similar.
Yeah, they are. Orange
Because I'm
and
partially colorblind. But oh, well, I can tell.
as am I.
Okay. Phantasmagoria almost finishing off West Russia, getting denied a Murmansk, as
Oh,
Dunga
that's bad luck.
then it actually succeeds in getting Antarctica. They still have not met, though. Phantasmagoria just knows where his opponents are, where 2 of his opponent's starting locations are.
Yeah, he's not rushing into things. He's making sure he gets a bonus first. And also, maybe gets Southeast Asia at the same time that he meets up with Dunga. Good move on his part.
No, he decides against it, actually. He hits Thailand a little bit before he can get Pakistan. If he had gotten West Russia the turn before, then yeah, he would have been fine.
Yeah,
But things
Bad
didn't go
luck on
quite
his
according to
part.
his plan.
bad luck.
And so he does see, right as Dunga finishes off this, is when he sees him. But now, he's down 3 reinforcements. And at this point, I think he's in a pretty bad position.
Yeah, for that turn anyway, but he can hold it off, I think anyway, for one turn. And then he'd be on an even footing after that. At least regarding that one bonus. Now he could also threaten in Taiwan the next turn, so he's not looking too bad.
Oh, he barely defends with 1. one left over. Now he's not going to be able to defend Thailand at all. There's no way he can overcome that 7.
But at the same time,
He can
let's
threaten.
see,
Yeah.
he threatens
They
Philippines
both
very
use their
well.
card. Dunga put an 11 in Philippines. Phantasmagoria focusing in Thailand.
Oh,
And now it's shifted a little bit.
yep, that was a good move on his part.
I
Really
mean,
good move for Phantasmagoria.
Dunga's got is protected from Taiwan, but now he's really in danger from Thailand, Malaysia.
Yep. Just
We'll
shifting
see what he
around,
does.
saying, hey, hey, I'm over here in Taiwan. Attack me, put pressure over there. Do
Oh.
it.
He decided to try to defend it. Wow, that's like, huh. I would have figured that would be a little bit more effective, but
And are you on turn 6?
yeah. He does finish him off out of Shanghai, though. But now he's down even further. So I don't know of a good way to. I don't think you can defend this. If this was me, I would probably have. I would probably give that up and just go for Australia this turn. Oh, and Phantasmagoria never got a card on turn 6.
Oh, he didn't.
And yeah, he's given up in
Oh.
Malaysia.
Yeah, he was hoping he would take Malaysia, of course. And then, well, Dunga's position is pretty good in Shanghai. He could just take Hong Kong. Southeast Asia is doomed. Or in deep trouble.
Now he's got to make a choice. Does he want to be offensive or defensive? If he's going to be defensive, he's going to have a really hard time.
Dunga?
Yeah. He does
Oh, yeah.
decide to be offensive a little bit.
Oh, I like his move here. It was, as you thought earlier, to take Australia and then to threaten from Hong Kong to Myanmar and Thailand
Unfortunately,
after.
he's not going to be able to.
Hmm?
He he doesn't have nearly enough to do it. With Phantasmagoria moving several back up to Thailand, he moves like 10 back up. So it's like Dunga's going to finish it, but now
Now he's in deep trouble.
now
From
he
the
can't
first.
really defend it.
Yeah, that was the problem from the beginning last turn too.
hmm
He
He's
could have
just
abandoned it, but
he's just up over uh, big stacks. I mean, right now we see that wrong button. Shift. It's control. What button is it? Whatever. Apparently it's not working right now. Yeah. Okay. Well, visible armies 31 for Phantasmagoria, 25 for Dunga. So he's down by 6 armies, even reinforcements though. But he's gonna have a difficulty defending in Hong Kong.
ouch.
Oh,
Yeah, I
and
think
yeah,
for 6 he just fell behind from the start. Honestly.
yeah. We do see that he does not end up. He does give it up, and he decides to try to block him in Australia and Borneo. So this puts him down at a 4 reinforcement disadvantage.
Phantasmagoria is just
He does
giving his
get
advantage.
Australia back.
Oh, he does.
Very surprised. I was not expecting him to be able to get that back.
Wow, Phantasmagoria made a small mistake there. Didn't put as much pressure in West Australia as he should have. But was that also? Ah, yep. This was the turn that Dunga had an advantage for reinforcement cards.
Oh, yep. Well, you mean Phantasmagoria.
Well, no, Phantasmagoria didn't get a
On
card.
turn 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So turn 9, he was able to use that reinforcement card to be able to get West Australia back. And now on turn 10, though, Phantasmagoria is able to use that to block Malaysia and prevent him from getting 2 bonuses back. And then he's working on East China now.
Funny how the game shifts. It does all these sort of twists and turns. It's fun to watch. And then Phantasmagoria gets his card next turn.
I'm up on turn 12, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Skipped ahead.
We do see just some big stacks sitting up here. Not a whole lot of motion going on at this point. Phantasmagoria did get back Taiwan, but it's not, and Philippines, but it's not really that important right now. Indonesia is just sort of a dead area. As long as Dunga can defend Beijing and West and Australia, then he's not in a terrible position. He's just not really able to be offensive.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
he's.
oh. He loses Beijing on turn 13, though.
Oh, yeah, that would really kill the game for him.
And
He's not in any position to threaten Southeast Asia or East China anymore.
and the only way that he can expand is South Africa, and that's not really efficient expansion unless he wants to go to like West U.S., but that has wasteland in it, so he'd have to go all the way down to Central America. So he's just not really able to expand. He's not really able to come back from this position. And once again, he doesn't get a card. So with this, it would just be building up stacks while Phantasmagoria is able to actually expand in the background, probably.
Yep. That's it exactly.
Hmm. So Dunga ends up conceding at that point, surrendering. So good game, Dunga. Congratulations, Phantasmagoria, for moving on to the second round of the 1v1.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game.
Yep.
That fight over Indonesia, Australia, Southeast Asia, and East China. Fun to watch. Okay. Now. We still haven't. From the 2v2 tournament, they still have not finished another game.
How far are they along?
15, 7, and 7.
Wow. Well, I think we know which game is probably going to end next, the 15 one. We'll see how long that takes to end.
Alright.
This 1v1.
Well,
Hey.
I gotta go, like, around now, so.
Oh, you do? It's only
Yeah.
250.
I'll see you later.
Yep.
See you, everybody.
Okay, yeah. kcscrag needing to step out a bit to go to work. So unfortunately, it's going to be me for a bit. Yeah. And apparently from Lolowut, their game against Dunga and Reza is really back and forth and stalemated, so even though that game is at turn 15, it's probably going to be a long game, unfortunately. So that might be a while. But anyways, we'll see what happens. While we're waiting on this, I'm actually going to go take a break for just a minute, and I'll be back in just a second, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so back to just the bracket for just a second. Still no more games have finished. Apparently the only game that was at a double-digit turn count is really neck and neck. So even though it's possible that that game might end up being decided in one turn by one big attack or something, no idea when that may happen. Right now it's turn 16 in that. The other games are both at turn 8. So we'll probably end up doing another 1v1. Do you guys have any specific 1v1 that you would like to see? Or should I just choose one? Or would you like something else being done? Something else to pass the time while slow people do their turn. Wow, those games have been going on for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Oh, never mind. We do have a game over. Let's see. Finally, another game. So let's pull this one up. Okay. This is game 4, the final game. We see is Shavinigan and Mr. Japanese. People have been saying he's my hand. I don't know. I don't think it's been confirmed or not, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Versus Yoshi and Lame Reload, whatever. So we'll see how that works out. It's apparently some skilled people. So let's take a look at Team E first. We have picks in Venezuela, Nigeria, Baja, Ethiopia, and then several alternate picks around here. Queensland, Shanghai, Myanmar, Tajikistan, Mongolia. Interesting picks. Probably a lot of counter picks in that area. And then this is 2v2 once again, so only 2 territories you get started with. There's 5 wastelands in the map instead of 7, things like that. So he wanted to go for South America really fast. You could get that in 2 turns, and then West Africa probably a turn or 2 after that. You might be able to squeeze it out 1 turn after that. Probably be 2 turns though. And then another alternate being in Baja. He can get this in 2 turns, if depending upon what he does. If he loses one of these, then he could get that instead, which would actually let him counter South America if he doesn't get that. And then we see, and then if he does end up not getting Nigeria, he has a decent chance getting Central America pretty safely because of Venezuela. So it's decent picks. Comparing that to, let's go to his teammate first actually. Lame Reload, he's chosen like 11? He chose 11 territories. Even though it's impossible to have more than 8 chosen. So, I don't know why he did that, but he went with Myanmar first, followed by Jasej, Murmansk, Tajikistan. So he's focusing a lot in Eurasia. His first 6 picks are all in Eurasia, so chances are he's probably going to get something out of those. His first pick, not the most fantastic one, because he still takes 2 turns. Sedge would be better because you can actually get that in 2 turns. Same with Murmansk. So if he does get his first 2 or something, he should focus on Central Russia. If he gets his second 2, then either of these would be fine. If he misses one of these or both of these or somehow and gets these 2, then he can get this in 1 turn. So he's got multiple options depending upon what he ends up getting out of these. And although since all these are really close together, if he does miss a couple, then he would just have really early. He would be in a hostile environment really off the bat, so he would have to. That might hurt him expanding. The other team, starting with Shivin again, we see Venezuela, Nigeria. So he's going with something very similar as Yoshi went, at least for the first 2. Then after that, it's Shanghai, Jasej, Myanmar. So he's focusing on parts of Asia. Overall, I do like these picks better than Yoshi's, because it gives him another 2-turn 4 bonus that he can focus on, and then multiple ones. So personally, I think those are more preferable than a 3 bonus, which you can get in 2 turns. If you can get a 4 bonus in 2 turns, it's better. So I do sort of like Schwinnigan's picks better than the other teams. And then the Japanese guy, overlapping picks with Schwinnigan, it seems. At least partially. The first 3 are the same. After that, it varies. Him going into Myanmar, higher priority, and then Queensland. Interesting picks. I do like the combinations here because it doesn't matter if one gets 1, one gets 2, one gets 3, because they're not used concurrently to get the same bonus. So I do sort of like that, except Nigeria protects South America, but you don't need it to get South America in 2 turns. Susan Busi, which means shady in Japanese, as Shibanigan says. Okay. Busan Busi. Busan Busai. Busan Busi. No guarantees I'll say that. But, we'll see. Okay, so let's compare that to what they actually got. We do see that Busan Busi, Busan Busai, I'm not sure which one, but Venezuela is what he gets, and then he gets his 5th pick in Queensland. So he knows that Yoshi, well, and then since Finnegan went 1, 2, 3, 4, he sees that, well, as a team, they know that the enemies have Nigeria and Myanmar. So because Busan Busi had number 4 as Myanmar and number 5 as Queensland, they know Myanmar, and then they both had Nigeria as number 2, which they neither got, so they know that the enemies have Nigeria. And then, conversely, the other team, Yoshi and Lame Reload, know that they have Venezuela. And then, Lame Reload, yeah, he had Zesedge number 2, so they know that they're in Zesedge as well. And then I think that's it. Yoshi had 2 here, and then, where was his 3rd one? Oh yeah, Baja. So yeah, that's all they know. They know Venezuela and Myanmar. Shvenigan and Busan Busi know those 2. And then Yoshi and Lame Reload know Venezuela. And I believe that's it. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, and Just Edge. Venezuela and Just Edge. So both teams know 2 locations of the other team. They can guess for the other locations. We'll see how they do actions related to that and where they decide to focus on. Oop. Okay. Lame Reload deciding to focus in Murmansk up here, as he should. That's a 2-turn 4 bonus. But they do know that he's in Just Edge, so that's not a safe 2-turn 4 bonus. Busan Busi focusing in Australia, because he knows that South America is not safe. Svenigan focusing in Just Edge. He thinks that this is safe, because he knows that they're in Myanmar, so he thinks this is the safer area to expand in. And then Yoshi splitting his forces up. We'll see how he decides to deal with that, if he goes for aggressive or decides to expand or something. Not sure what he would choose. People expanding in different locations like they should. He decides to expand into Chad and Mexico. Everyone else doing the expected. Nothing fancy. Next turn though, Yoshi getting all of Central America. This will allow him to threaten South America. We'll see how he deals with that and how Busan Busi deals with that. Okay, and okay, nothing. Okay, we do see that Svenigan's going to finish off this. Lame Reload's not going to finish off West Russia. He decides to go for Southeast Asia first, which is fine because from his perspective, this is a safer bonus than this. So that's fine with him. But then Svenigan does go into Hong Kong on the perfect turn. Good move by him to threaten that in 2 locations. We'll see how Lame Reload deals with that. But Lame Reload goes into Ufa, so now he's threatening Judica in 2 locations. So both of them are threatening each other. They have met over here, Yoshi and Busan Busi. Is it too quiet? Okay, I just turned up the background music. Is that better? Okay, well, let me know if the background music is still too quiet or whatever. Okay, moving on to turn 3. Yoshi putting a lot in Nigeria instead of Cuba, interestingly enough. Deciding to finish off West Africa. I think that's a decent move. Um, this will be hard to contest. We'll see how that works out. He may lose it if he attacks, though. And yet, well, no, he moved to Brazil. I guess he wanted to stay alive instead of be aggressive there. Chev putting a lot in Hong Kong. Only a couple by Lame Reload and Ufa. He does go to Xinjiang, though. This allows him to threaten Tomsk. Busan Busi does finish off Australia finally. So that's going to help him. It's going to give him guys to put over here to fight actively. He can't really expand very well from here. Maybe up into Hawaii, through Hawaii to get to here would be a decent action in the long term. That would take a few turns to get there. And Lamelo does decide to finish West Africa instead of being aggressive. And then Sheva attacking Ufa with 1. If he had decided to hit that with everything here instead of just 1, then he would have taken it. But he does hit Thailand and take Thailand. What do you mean it stopped completely? Okay, well, apparently there's some technical issues, but anyways, while I'm waiting on a response from that. Okay, we do see that these people, Lame Reload and Schwinnigan are threatening each other multiple times. Schwinnigan did capture Southeast Asia, but at the same turn, he got West Russia, so they're still even, 9-9. Yoshi is up to 12, though, because he has 2 bonuses. Busan C did finish off Australia, so he's got that 1. So overall, reinforcement-wise, it's decently even. Team E is up by 2 reinforcements, though, with Yoshi having 2 bonuses. And he is able to threaten this, so they may end up trading bonuses up here, possibly. That is where he decides to put everything. And he puts a lot in Nigeria. But he could lose Cuba. And he does lose Cuba. But he does get Brazil. So trading a bonus for a little bit of positioning, I'm not entirely sure. Okay. But Lame Reload able to catch Shvinigan off guard does capture Tomsk, breaking that bonus. And Shvinigan, in retaliation, breaks West Russia, so now both of those guys are down to 5. Really low reinforcement game at this point. Both of them play reinforcement cards. The people with actual bonuses are the ones using the reinforcement cards this time. I'm not sure about these guys in Xinjiang. Why do we do that? Doesn't seem to be the most useful. He does. Ooh, Busan C does defend Venezuela just barely. That allows him to keep a positioning there, and makes it more likely that he can move around. Okay, I'll call him Shady. Is anyone else having blackouts? If anyone else is having blackouts, then I'll just restart the stream. That might fix it. Huh. Then my hand, I recommend just refreshing. See if refreshing will help. Not sure why. Okay. With him defending here, he's able to keep this bonus and keep it from being retaken. Schvinnigan's working on Southeast Asia. And Lemilo does blockade and packaging, which I think is good. Oh, and I like moving into King High like this. This lets him get to Shanghai and threaten that. Even though Shishbagin doesn't quite have it yet, he should try to get it this next turn, in my opinion. I think that would be the next course of action to take. And then, or maybe he could go for West Russia, but that would probably be a little harder to get. And then this turn, we do see that Yoshi never gets a card piece, because he failed his attack on Venezuela. Okay, looks like we're gonna have Lolowut joining us, so let's answer that. Yo.
Alright, I'm back and commentating.
Okay, so does that mean your 2v2 game ended finally?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Okay, we won't spoil it.
We'll get to that game because it's a very, very interesting game that I think a lot of people really need to see. So, alright.
Okay, are you viewing this game as well?
Yeah.
Okay, turn 5 is where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at this point, Shvinigan is in a... Well, they've broken bonuses. Both of Shvinigan and Lamulot are down at 5 right now. Lamulot's going to go into Shanghai, Shanxi, I mean. And then, really at this point, both Yoshi and Shady have a safe bonus. And then no one else really has a bonus at all. Shvinigan's in a position to get bonuses, but really
yeah,
no one else.
Shev is in the better position than what Llama is in at this point. Or is that lame or whatever? The whole point right here is that Shev has put himself into a position to where he can actually threaten West Russia so easily, while Lame is not able to do anything with Central Russia. You can see that Lame is trying to reach East China to potentially threaten that, but if Shev plays smart, he'll get that bonus before Lame is able to threaten it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, Shev decides to predict that his opponent is coming for him from that area and hits West Russia instead. For me, I could see him going either way from here.
So let's see what he decides. It seems that he does decide to actually go for the bonus of East China.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it's a safer choice.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the one that I would end up making as well. Because there's no guarantee of getting West Russia. Alright, as we see here, Shady actually does that too in Venezuela to stop the potential bonus that Yoshi could get from South America.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Yoshi could have gotten that entire bonus if he had tried for it.
Yeah, if he had hit like 3 or 4 in Venezuela, Argentina, Bolivia, and then like 5 in Colombia and everything else in Venezuela, he would have had that.
Oh yeah, he would have. And now, that probably would have been enough to gain him enough momentum to stop Shady here. And as we see, Shady is going to be able to get his bonus in Central America. So this puts Yoshi in a really bad position because that West Africa bonus is not going to be safe for too much longer.
Oh yeah, it's like he can either defend Brazil the next turn, or he can go for attacking Cuba with everything.
So, right here, I think, is the point where this game ends, because we see Shev and Shady both get a great positioning and great bonuses going. So, just about right here is where I would draw a line. Because you see, Shev can give up East China while taking West Russia without even a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And Shady is in a position that he can defend Central America for one more turn, and he can also threaten West Africa. So this is this is where it ends.
Yep, it's the other team that has to make the choices of where they want to sacrifice anything, really, because if Lamelo decides to attack East China, then he's probably going to lose in West Russia. But if he defends West Russia, then he's going to lose his positioning in East China, around East China. And Yoshi, it does seem the next turn that puts some in Brazil and then a little bit in Venezuela. We'll see if that's enough. He does hit Colombia though, deciding to try for that location instead.
That was a really iffy move. The safer move would be to go for Central America because even if he was to not win in Central America, he would still overwhelmingly beat the armies in Central America back. So
Yeah, it seems what he was
he's
trying to
also
do. Looking at
it,
future moves, he was trying to go for the entire bonus.
oh no 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 you don't do that. Not when your opponent has a clear advantage in income, you really need to break that income and go for a safe bonus. Right here, the only safe bonus he could have gone for was East Africa. So this is just a really bad decision making because Shady is in complete control over the situation in South America.
Oh yeah, after this turn, I mean, it's like the tables have completely turned. Now, Lame Reload has no position in Shanxi, so he can't threaten Chev.
And Chev with that wonderful move in East China, keeping Lamer Load out of breaking that bonus, which I'm surprised that he was able to do that. I was assuming that Lamer Load is going to be able to break one of those.
He never even attacked East China.
That's very surprising
Huh.
because I would have put all on in West China and broken one of those. I think it's actually possible for him to do that, even though it was 556. If he had hit one of the fives with all that he had, he probably could have done something a little bit better than normal.
Hmm.
I think did he only have he only had seven. Ooh, he didn't even really expand towards there enough with enough armies to really do
Yeah.
much. Yep. So yeah, that just sucks.
Yep. And it's like after this turn, Yoshi and Lamer did realize that their positioning, so they called it there, conceded, and surrendered. And it was quite obvious at that point that they were not in a position to come back.
hmm
I mean, Lamer, for example, he couldn't really expand anywhere, and he was just going to be eliminated in a couple turns.
hmm
So yeah,
Um, I don't. I, throughout the entire game, I find it really interesting that neither player ends up double pressuring. I think that's true. I mean, I wasn't looking at the entire game because I was busy playing mine. But typically, what you want to do when your opponent is overwhelming you in one position is you want to either gift or blockade in order to get either your partner into there so you can do a double pressuring move, even if your other partner is dealing with someone on his own. It's typically good to have your partner there just for support if it's needed. And then I think they ended up using their blockade card. Both of them did, Chev and Lamer,
yes,
but um, really, I think it's very interesting that neither team decided to bring their partner in for a double pressure on any of these guys because it's a very very dangerous move in 2v2. I mean, that's kind of what we did to beat you and kcscrag is we made sure to keep a double pressure going on one opponent.
hmm
So all in all, though, it's a very interesting game. Congrats, Chev and Shady.
yep. And good game, Yoshi, Lamer, Reload. They tried, but not quite able to pull it off. So that means that Shenanigan and Shady I'll actually put him that on the bracket. Hold on. Shady. I'll put quotations marks around it.
Hmm. So let's go on to my team versus Dunga's team, which was one of the most. This is the most interesting 2v2 game I've played in my time of playing 2v2 with JSA.
Hmm.
Um, it was a really hard fought game by both players, and the winner definitely deserved it.
Okay, so this is the first game in the bracket at least.
Hmm.
We have Lolowut and you and JSA versus Reza and Dunga. So we have. Let's just look at the picks first. So we'll start off with your picks. What were you thinking when you decided to go with these picks?
This setup was basically obviously we were going for a more 1v1 feel for this game because of the way the map was set up. As opposed to our usual overlapping strategy, we actually decided not to do that in this game because of the way that the wastelands were set up. So I decided to go with Scandinavian Greenland, making Greenland safe and making Greenland a two-turn bonus. And then JSA went in with Antarctica and Africa in order to, get into that Africa bonus because we knew somebody was going to be there. And we also knew that Antarctica was going to be a safe bonus because nobody's going to pick South Africa or Australia. And that's basically how we were thinking about our picks here is that one of us was going to be mostly devoted to Europe, and then the other one was going to be mostly devoted to Africa.
Yeah. hmm Looks good. I'd sort of like these. Hmm. And
The
then,
fourth pick that JSA picks was kind of debatable
yeah, I'm
because
not.
South
That
Africa.
was the one I was not really
I,
sure about.
I I don't know if that was worth it. I mean, I'm glad that never even got down to the fourth pick in this game, but
Yeah.
it's debatable whether or not that would have been a good move. Anyways,
Okay, let's
going
check
on
out
to
the
their
opponents.
picks,
Yeah, Reza decided
they were
first in Ufa, and then South Pole.
yes. All right, here his thinking. These are all counter picks to us, and no offense to Reza, but for the most part, Dunga is calling the shots in this game. We even talked over public chat about it. Dunga, for the most part, was calling the shots for this game. Reza was very compliant and learned a lot from this game. So his first pick in West Russia is basically to get him that foothold into Europe because Dunga knew that we were going to end up going for something in Europe. He wasn't quite sure what. So that's why he put Reza to mostly focus on Europe. But if you see, most of his picks in Europe are overlapping with our own, and even the Antarctican pick is also overlapping with our own. So that's why his 5 and 6 picks were to focus on Africa in case he was not able to get into Europe, that he would be able to get in a little bit into Africa. And then going on to Dunga's picks, they overlap a bit with Reza. I noticed this midway through that they actually overlapped into the game. So um, basically, it's our strategy. They overlapped completely because I think I explained it to you over one of our games. Overlapping allows you to gather information really easily, and it's one of the prime ways to play 2v2. And uh, but it's not always the optimal way because I would say that the optimal way would be to pick a little bit more on the 1v1 side for this map. But typically they would be right in setting up an overlap. But in overlapping, they actually ended up gaining knowledge on all of our positioning. So I can't discredit it in this one.
Yeah.
So going on to the first turn. Okay, good.
Okay. So first turn, we'll see that JSA did get his first pick in South Pole and his third pick in Kenya.
Which means at this point, we both know that somebody is in West Africa. We're assuming somebody's in East China, and we knew that they would have to be in Europe somewhere. So for the most part, even though we don't have the information of the overlapping picks to be known where everybody is, we kind of are able to assume where they're gonna be, and so information in this case in this game was basically even because we kind of knew what our opponents were thinking of, which
Yeah.
is kind of thinking the same thing when we looked at the map, but we chose to go with the opposite strategy.
Hmm.
What we'll see here is that I go for Greenland. Like I said, it's a 2-turn bonus, so why not? JSA going for Antarctica because it's the safer bonus to go for. Um, we see Dunga going for East China, knowing that that's going to be safe. And then Reza, knowing that Central Russia is going to be safe, goes mostly towards Central Russia. And then and then Dunga is going to start moving on to my position in Scandinavia.
Yep. Because that's one of the three that they definitely know that you guys are located at.
Hmm.
But they don't know about Greenland, so they just probably assume that you're either getting all of
Actually,
Scandinavia or they are going for Greenland.
they actually do know I'm in Greenland because it was Dunga's 7th pick and he got his 8th pick for East China.
Oh,
So
you're
he
right. Yeah, I
actually
thought
does
for
know.
some reason that Thailand was 7 instead. But yeah,
Oh no.
okay.
He picked a 9th pick for no reason, but
Yeah, I think that's what caught me off guard. But okay. So after the
um
first turn, we do see that you're now in a position to get all of Greenland very
mhm.
nicely. And hmm,
yeah, I do end up getting it, even though one of them do have to hit with a 3.
yeah,
But yeah, everybody it basically gets the save bonus that they are expecting to get, which it doesn't usually happen. You know,
hmm,
most of the time we end up getting screwed. I think actually Reza is unable to get Central Russia.
yeah, just barely.
Yeah, just barely. So which puts him at a disadvantage when JSA pops into West Africa, but not too much because JSA is going to obviously hesitate because that's the best move for him to do. Dunga moving into Scandinavia, but it's not really him moving into there. He knows that I'm not going for Scandinavia at all.
Hmm.
He knows at this point I probably have Greenland, and he's going to focus more on making sure he gets East China. Um, and in this turn, JSA rightly hesitates on moving any further into Africa, which sadly puts us at a card disadvantage, but at the same time, it was just the best move for him to do.
Yep.
Because we weren't sure whether or not Reza had a 4 bonus by this point, so he could have actually attacked West Africa, you know, with the 11 versus 11, which wouldn't be too bad.
Hmm. And we do see some actual fighting starting on turn 4.
Rarely happens.
Yeah, JSA trying to ram into Chad, but failing. Not expecting that much resistance, probably.
um, at that point, we actually attacked Chad out of just to keep Reza having to throw armies into Africa. We didn't want him expanding anymore because we weren't sure exactly where he was, but at this point we assumed that he was somewhere in Russia.
Yeah, and you saw Dunga in Finland, so you could assume Central was where he was at.
Yeah, and I do attack because I'm at a advantage to attack. So we both ram. So next turn. This time I'm still at an advantage to ram, but we assume that Dunga is going to move to finish West Russia at this point. It was a bad assumption to do that, but we were thinking it was like we were thinking in counter of Dunga's thinking of our thinking. It was
Yep.
kind of one of those things where we were just sitting there in team chat going, well, Dunga's going to do this because he assumes I'm going to do this, so I might as well do this. And Dunga went for the more simpler turn, and hit and he ends up hitting Norway, which puts me at a disadvantage because now I'm not able to defend Svalbard, and he's going to be able to start threatening Greenland. But at the same time, I this wasn't this was just kind of like one of those, best moves I could have done because had he finished West Russia by any chance,
Hmm.
this game would have been over here.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that this bonus was not going to be taken. Um, and JSA moving a little bit more in Africa, he's trying to get some leadway. At this point, Reza is probably going to start going toward Antarctica to threaten that bonus because he does know it's safe. It is safe and that JSA has it. Yeah, sorry if I'm not letting you talk, but
No, no.
this game, it's like this
Uh,
game I played it, so I know
yeah.
exactly what was going on. This turn was where our card disadvantage really comes into play. Dunga able to play that reinforcement card. It was funny because we assumed that Reza was going to play the reinforcement card to gain an advantage over JSA. But as we can see, I deploy all in Greenland instead of defending Svalbard because I know that there's no point in defending Svalbard. Um, if you're wondering where we had the card disadvantage, it was when JSA decided to stay uh, simple in Africa.
I
And
was just wondering why it was turn 6 that it happened.
the reinforcements because you have two players on both sides. So
Oh, it's 12 pieces in this? Or no, it's not.
no, no,
Oh,
no, no, no. It's 10 pieces.
it's 8.
It's 8.
It's
Oh
8.
right.
Yeah, it
So
should have been.
it should have been turn 4.
Turn 5 is when you. Well, you should have got it after turn 4. You could have played it on turn 5, but
So
it seems you guys didn't have
yeah.
it.
And Dunga is kind of waiting to use it.
Okay. Well, hmm.
But anyways,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
going on. I give up going for Svalbard because I obviously know that Dunga's at an advantage. As you can
Hmm.
see, Reza is preparing for my uh, assault on central Russia. Uh, but as we can see, this turn, or yeah, this turn they do play their blockade card, I think. Do they?
Yep,
Yes, they
Inufa.
do. They do. So they do blockade, and that'll shut me down to one front with Central Russia. Very smart move. I keep Dunga from possibly getting Scandinavia by throwing 4 over to there, and making sure that won't happen. And I also move a little bit towards Central Russia. I'm hoping to start pressuring that, but obviously I'm not going to be able to because of that blockade. So now this game, this is why it ends up stalemating, is because we're locked down to such precise borders that it becomes really hard for us to move
Yeah.
around.
So at this point, what was JSA thinking about in terms of Africa? What were you guys considering down there?
We were considering bringing me into there with a gift card, and basically we decided against that because we realized Reza understood that he was in Antarctica. So now JSA is going to focus on taking one of those bonuses while Reza decides to threaten Antarctica because it's like giving up a 3 bonus for getting a 4 bonus.
Mhm.
So that's the best move we can do on our part. So you'll see that in the coming turns that we actually decide to give up Antarctica because we realize that Reza is going to take it by any means anyways. So
Yeah.
right here we see Dunga uh, going for Greenland, which was a very risky turn on his part. He had to assume that I was going to focus more against Central Russia because I think he assumed that I assumed that he had Central Russia, but I kind of knew he didn't because um, I, I I saw the movement of Reza going into that territory and blockading it, so I knew that Reza had to be in Central Russia at that point. So I decide to border with it just so I can take a card. Basically,
Yeah.
that was my thinking. Was that I'm not going to be able to use those armies for anything else at this point, so might as well take a card with it.
Exactly. And we do unfortunately see for the other team that Dunga does not get a card this turn. He just had that one big attack, and that was really it.
So now we're equal in the card
Hmm.
disadvantage, so, which is what keeps us alive coming into this game because there's a few points to where we're completely outnumbered in cards. Anyways, this is the turn that JSA decides, okay, I'm going to give up Antarctica and I'm going to take East Africa.
Hmm.
And now I'm focusing more on defending Greenland, assuming that, again, Dunga is going to attack. Even though the reason why Dunga is doing this is because he knows if I assume that he's not going to attack Greenland and he breaks that bonus, it's going to be game over right there. So uh, it was basically it was his only good move from then on, and as we can see, I think he forfeits yet another card
Indeed.
attacking
Yep.
us. So right now we have the card advantage, but we're gonna lose it in the coming turns. Um, and JSA able to complete East Africa, and so that puts us finally at the income advantage. So this turn, okay, knowing that Reza was coming in from Central Russia, I had to assume that our opponents might try a double pressure. So this is why I end up gifting JSA in order to help me out, and this is also going to help me keep Sweden. So this keeps Dunga from being able to ever take Scandinavia.
Oh yeah.
So a very important move for us to decide to do that because the gift card is one heck of a card in 2v2.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so we see Dunga actually does get his card. I don't move in Greenland because I assume he might try yet another all-out attack, but he wisely decides not to, knowing that now I'm at the army advantage that he should probably stop. So as we can see that I gain back the advantage over in Greenland.
Hmm. And we do end up seeing that JSA does use the blockade card down in Scott.
Hmm. And that is to stop Reza from ever getting Antarctica. Interesting thing is Dunga told us on public chat that he knew JSA was going to end up blockading in Scott, so he told Reza to shift back momentum into Africa.
Hmm.
So that would stop the mistake of anybody of Reza ever going too far into Antarctica.
Yeah.
But he does decide to close it off with that 7. He's going to eventually close it off.
And we do end up seeing that this turn, you're the one who doesn't get a card, so
Yeah, because I decide
cards
to.
are evened out again.
Yeah, like I said, this is why I said it ends up stalemating pretty far into this game
Oh yeah.
because we cannot see a clear advantage from either team at all. So this time I play an order priority card in order to take Svalbard because I assumed that he's gonna throw those two armies into Svalbard, and that would have stopped me from taking the territory completely. So able to gain back some momentum in in that area, which makes me happy finally.
Yeah, it's like you've got momentum up there, but then Reza's got a decent momentum going from
Going down there.
down
Um,
there.
what JSA, he was just trying to keep Reza from ever taking that bonus away from him. Because if we lost a bonus at this point, it would have been game over. So, unable to gain gain that attack on Scandinavia, I lose a card yet again.
And JSA loses a card, and Dunga lost the card. Reza was the only one to get a card that turn.
Yes, this. So basically, they gain back the advantage in cards. I think
Yeah.
barely. Huh.
Hmm.
So, yeah, very weird game in terms of cards. We're we're not doing a lot of taking. Anyways,
Hmm.
here we see yet again Dunga deciding that he's not going to be able to defend Svalbard for any longer. Moves completely out of Svalbard and allows me to take it.
Yeah, and also JSA's given up East Africa.
In turn for gaining West Africa. So we decide that there's no point in defending East Africa because he's in a position to gain West Africa and close West Africa down to one front. So all in all, yet again, another move that prolongs the game. So as we can see, I gain a card, but JSA. Wait a minute, we all get cards.
Everyone gets cards, yeah.
Yeah. So yet again, we're just down by one card at this point, one card piece. Uh, I'm able to stop. All right, Dunga in this move because he saw JSA transfer one into Sweden, realizes that JSA is in Germany, and he moves down to counter JSA in Europe, which is when that move is going to cost us a lot of armies in the coming turns.
Yeah, and so now it's like with Reza getting that big stack, even though it is only against Congo instead of Kenya, JSA's going to need to really try to defend that if he wants to keep that.
And as we can, in Resum, in the next few turns, we'll get to that. We'll see. Dunga playing in order of priority in order to, I think, transfer into Norway in order to stop my momentum, which is a very, very great move by Dunga. He was able to completely
Oh
stop
yes.
there, and it's going to cost me a deficit of 3 armies, I think, for this one. And I assuming that Dunga is going to go for JSA, transfer all into JSA. I end up losing pretty big over that move. But as we can see, we have the double pressure going on Dunga. So now the European front is looking a little bit nicer, even though I'm unable. I start losing armies towards Dunga. We now have that double pressure going on.
Yep, and this turn Reza once again is the only person who gets a card.
Hmm. Oh, and we also used a reinforcements card this turn, which disallows Reza to get to break West Africa. But he also keeps momentum going into Sudan to try to get a two border on us.
Hmm.
This turn not very interesting. Uh, this is just moving around. We're trying to put ourselves in a better position all the way around. this turn gets a little bit more interesting because yet again the same thing happened. Only this time I know that Dunga doesn't have an order priority card. Focus more on Europe because
Hmm.
right here the same thing happens to where I assume that Dunga is going to try to close off JSA. However, I know that he doesn't have an order priority card, so my first order is to move into Norway. Well, by luck, he gets the first move, and yet again, I lose big. I'm at a deficit of 5 to 6 armies at this point compared to Dunga. But, uh, and now we can see that on JSA's front, Reza is finally able to get the two border against JSA, and so at this turn, things are just not looking that great. Even though we see that JSA is in a position to take back East Africa if Reza completely leaves East Africa.
Hmm.
So things not looking good for my team. But we keep it alive for 2 more turns. Um, I know that that Dunga is going to move into Salvbard, so I give up Salvbard. We can see for about 5 seconds Dunga did have Scandinavia, but JSA was able to break that.
Yep.
Um, we have some movements going in Africa, and this is basically we're trying to break that big block of Reza down into smaller armies so that we can deal with this a little bit better. We're able to stop any breaks from happening. Um, all in all, this turn is basically yet another stalemate because Dunga is able to pressure me in Greenland, and we're still at a deficit in Africa.
Yep. And
Even
JSA was able to defend though, which was quite interesting. If he only hit with two. Well, oh, he hit Congo with everything else. I missed that. Okay. Big attack on Congo. Hmm. Okay, going into turn 16. Oh yeah, I can guess what happens from the reinforcements.
yeah, um, basically Dunga unable to break me in Greenland, but finally they're able to break us in West Africa, and JSA uh, sides. We had the order delay card in chat. This is really funny. In chat, Dunga was using reverse psychology on us in order to basically tell us that taking East Africa was a bad idea. I even told JSA over team chat, don't listen to him. I think it's reverse psychology. Hold on, let me bring up the chat. This is funny. If it decides to come up, it's laggy because I've got Skype up and everything else. It says it's it we this is basically our conversation. Uh, JC goes, I read your mind. Now let's see if I can keep it up. And then Dunga goes, that was not reading our mind. That was exactly what I wanted. He was referring to the African leaders.
Yeah.
And he said, reducing armies in there to be easier to attack was your mentality. I knew that you were going to do that basically. So um, Jason goes, true, but I got what I wanted. And Dunga said, for 1 turn.
Try
And
keeping it up two more.
JSA said, I held on another turn. And then Reza goes, Dunga told me basically what to do there. And I said, and then I go, Dunga tells everybody what to do, you just don't realize it. And Dunga goes, you're kind of you had a dangerous big stack sitting there in Congo. And JSA goes, well, he was a little bit more dangerous. And then basically he goes, I told him you were planning to take over in East Africa and leave Chad unguarded. So you wanted to keep the chances of having East Africa if you lost West Africa. Now I tell you, you won't have East Africa again. And this is turn 15 that we're saying talking this. And JSK goes, Good to know. Wouldn't want to waste armies attacking there.
Yep. Lots of conversation in this game. Holy crap.
Yeah, it, I enjoy talking to Dunga. He's very nice.
Yeah.
He I didn't come back to this. But he said some stuff. He says overlapping better option. Okay. Well, overlapping is definitely the better option here, but it's very hard to master because you have to consider the order of picks and you have to be pretty smart about understanding what stands out in the map. Very rarely can go for two combos and then overlap, and one or two other options involving combo or area control. And like I said, in this map, it was we were considering overlapping, but we felt that the combo pick was going to be just as good. And I mean, for the most part, it was kind of even in there.
Yeah.
So, so it and and there's probably some more interesting things going on in team chat. I mean, there's just within JSA and I's team chat, it was mostly talking about, okay, well, we know that Dunga knows this, so he's probably going to do this. This is going to counter it. That was
Hmm.
basically our team chat. I don't know if Reza and Dunga's team chat was a little bit more interesting, but yeah. So we end up surrendering because we obviously know that the game's over at this point. Um, so good job to Dunga and Reza. It was a really good game on both sides, I would think. I learned quite a bit.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good game. But congratulations to Reza and Dunga for advancing to the next round and
Yeah.
allowing Lolowut to come commentate.
Yeah. Um, anyways, um, in the first round, we see that uh, basically we've covered all the games thus far. Um, so we can move on to the second round with Team D versus Team G. And Team C versus Team H has still not ended.
Yep, so unfortunately we're just going to have to skip the Blue and Nephone game versus Phantasmagoria and Tetragrammaton. So
That's an awesome name,
I know.
man.
Okay, so Dunga and Reza versus Chancellor Platter Palpatine and Foxface. Okay, so gotta fix that. Bang. Okay.
All right. This is. I have mixed feelings about this map.
Interesting series of wastelands in several of these.
Yeah. Um. Obviously, in this map, I would say that the overlapping strategy is obviously going to be the best because I don't really see any combos at all that are worth going for. Um. Obviously, you're going to have Africa being fought over. Um, I could see somebody picking Central America for a safe bonus. Um, West Russia and Scandinavia is debatably okay. Then you have East China and India, which is not too bad.
Hmm.
Mixed feelings because there's only really one area of focus. Europe is shut down to only really two good picks, so therefore, uh, either one. I feel that one team or the other is going to get that place, or they might have some early fighting, but it's not going to be moment. Obviously, the focus is going to be Africa.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's see how these guys ended up choosing. We do see that Reza going first and second in Finland, Moscow, focusing for that Scandinavia, West Russia area, and
Hmm.
then alternates being in Cuba, and then Scott going for some of the smaller bonuses after that.
Yeah, those are the safe bonuses. So obviously they're picking it because I know that Dunga's going to overlap. We're just going to assume that they are, unless I'm proven wrong in a few seconds. Um,
They did
obvious,
indeed, yeah.
obviously, what we have here is them deciding that by picking in Scandinavia and West Russia, if they get both their picks there, that makes that area completely safe. Central America is safe, and Antarctica is safe. So if they get their first four picks, they have completely safe bonuses. So it, it's kind of the same mentality that I would go through with picking for this game. And then, of course, you have your 5 and 6 in Asia, making that safe. I don't know if I agree with that seventh pick in West China, but definitely in the eighth pick in South Africa, I guess it could be a good counter against Antarctica, but I don't see it being that monumental in the game. But then again,
Yeah,
West Africa and East Africa really aren't that great, so mixed feelings. I would put the seventh pick in Indonesia, and then put
yeah,
the eighth
same here, Indonesia.
South Africa. All right, going on to the other team's picks. I don't think they end up overlapping these two players, do they?
Nope.
All right, guys, just saying. Uh, Overlapping is the best and easiest strategy in 2v2. So,
Yeah,
uh, obviously, we have uh, his first and second picks to trying to make Asia safe, but with that seventh pick in West China, it's not going to be that safe. Although I would have rather the seventh pick being in Indonesia to counter. The third and fourth pick being in that same area, Scandinavia and West Russia, that's going to be obviously good. I don't agree with the fifth pick because you don't want a combo pick.
yeah,
You don't want a combo pick and not overlap unless it's a great combo pick like the Greenland and Scandinavia pick that I had because that one was just too good not to go for.
oh yeah. Two turn five bonus is amazing.
And then we have the seventh and eighth pick. All right, I guess it's another combo. These are all clustered combo picks, and I don't know if that's the best strategy for 2v2. I've
Hmm.
seen I've seen good players somehow win with that kind of strategy, but it's always best to go for the overlapping pick.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see what Foxface ends up doing.
Number one being South Africa?
Don't
Hmm.
agree with that. I don't like his picks at all.
Third in Alberta?
Never pick.
Seems very strange.
Okay,
Then
obviously,
Myanmar? Hmm.
um, I don't agree with these picks at all. Um, your first should never be South Africa. You should always pick South Africa as a counter pick if you're
Yeah.
going to pick it. North Africa is yet another really bad uh, three bonus. Um, you should never pick it unless it's a counter. Third being Canada. You should never pick Canada ever in a 2v2 game, ever. I can't really think of a map that would make Canada a good choice.
There's
I, I
not
re-
really.
um, and then the fourth pick being in Southeast Asia, that's getting a little bit better. Fifth pick in Antarctica is okay. Is sixth pick in Central America is okay. Then we get to the seventh pick, East Russia.
Same as with Canada.
Yeah, there's not really a situation to where that would be that great of a pick unless you're countering Central Russia, and then that territory would be that big one over there.
Hmm.
I don't see you using it as an expansionary pick, so only use only use five bonuses unless there's somehow two turn. which neither of these 2/5 bonuses are 2 turn.
And the Middle East. Hmm. Oh well. Okay. Well, let's see how it actually ends up working out.
Yeah, just saying. Um, I'm gonna give a little bit of advice to Chancellor and Foxface if you're watching this. Um, look closely at Dunga and Rez's picks. Look closely at them. They pick the best picks for this map, and without a doubt, this is why I think they're going to eventually win. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But yeah, take a look and study the overlapping in the thought between each pick. If you want, invite me to a game later, and I will uh, go through and tell you exactly why each pick was picked, because there's a reason between 1 through 8. All of them were picked for a good reason. Uh,
Okay.
anyways, moving on.
Foxface gained her first two. Chancellor gained his first two, and the Rezadunga got their first four. It seems.
um, Resin Dunga, uh, they I think have the knowledge advantage at this point because they kind